Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today we are going to be learning a mentalism trick using Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching this magic tutorial. If you are doing so, it means that you have either become a Mob Squad member or you have purchased the manga book test. Either way you're watching this video, thank you guys so much for watching. This idea was actually brought to my attention by Joe of the Enjoy Magic YouTube channel, which is a German magic review channel. I will leave a link in the description below so that you guys can go check it out. I really encourage you guys to go over there and let them know how excited you are about this trick, because it's a really cool idea using Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So essentially what we're going to do is sort of a book test type thing using these cards. If you already own the manga book test, you probably already know a lot of the techniques we're going to discuss in this video, but don't worry if you don't. I'm going to pretty much teach this routine from the start to the finish so that you guys can see everything that sort of goes into it. Before I do though, I thought it would be a really good idea to go ahead and just watch a really quick performance video so you guys can see what it looks like. All right, I want to show you something using my deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. As you know, I'm a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan, and there's all kinds of different cool cards like monster cards and cards that allow you to cast spells, even cards that allow you to set traps. But I thought that it would be kind of cool to try something with this deck of cards, maybe a little feat of mind reading. Okay, here we go. So all I'm going to do is just shuffle through the cards like this. Can you say stop at any time that you like?
Stop.
Right there is okay? And in just a second, I'm going to have you look at a card. But what I want you to do is read the little dialogue box here, just in your mind, not out loud. You're just going to read the box in your mind, and I'm going to attempt to extract a word from your mind. Okay. Go ahead and take a look at the top card there. I will not look, and let me know when you're doing that.
Okay.
You got it?
Do I read what it says on this one?
Just in your mind. I want you to read in that dialogue box, and I'm going to try to see if I can pick up on some words. There's a word there. I'm getting like a G. Is that true? Uh-huh. Yes? It's a longer word, maybe like 6-7 letters long ish, in that range.
Yes.
Okay. Focus on that word. I'm not 100% sure. I'm seeing like an A. Okay. I'm not sure if I got it, but let's see if this works. For the first time, can you say out loud the word that you were merely thinking of?
Galaxies.
What is it?
Galaxies.
Galaxies. Galaxies. All right, so as you saw, really cut and dry. You're just going to force a card, and then you are going to have the spectator look at the dialogue on the bottom of the card, and you are going to divine a word that they are merely thinking of. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do this in a really surefire way. So there's no fishing, no guessing, no trying to figure out the long word or any of that stuff. It's super simple. So the way that I have this set up is, first of all, we're using real Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? So I didn't print these at home or anything. This really is just a collection of a bunch of different Yu-Gi-Oh cards. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to force a Yu-Gi-Oh card that doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of dialogue on it, but also words that are, you know, going to stand out and be kind of interesting. So the one that I chose was Cosmo Queen, just because her dialogue says Queen of the Galaxies and Mistress of the Stars. So when I have the spectator looking at it, it's not in a huge sea of text, right? Because there are some cards, as you can see, like this guy here, and like you can see how big and crazy the text dialogue bubble is. So you want to probably pick a card that isn't going to have a whole lot of text on it. So I went ahead and chose Cosmo Queen. Now for the setup of this, I'm going to teach you guys how I did the Hindu Shuffle Force. It's a variation of the Hindu Shuffle, which I like to call the Hindu Cross Force. I already taught that shuffle in another video, but don't worry, I'll kind of go over it again in this one. If you guys want more information on the Hindu cross force, go check out that video. Again, I'll have a link in the description below for you. So the way that I set up the deck is on the top of the deck is my force card, and I'm just going to kind of go through and I'm going to explain for those people that might not know what Yu-Gi-Oh is. It's a trading card game, right? And there's different creature cards, like we call them monsters, right? There are different cards that allow us to cast spells. There are cards that allow us to set traps, right? So you got a variety of different cards here, and you can give the deck a shuffle. It doesn't matter as long as you are keeping track of your force card, in this case, the Cosmo Queen, on the top of the deck. So now I'm going to do the Hindu Shuffle Force, but I'm going to do it a little bit different than people are probably used to. I'm actually going to do the Hindu Shuffle Force face up. So for those of you not sure how this works, all you do is you just take cards off the top like this. Of course, the Cosmo Queen is right here on the bottom. She never moves. She's always in the same position right here, just like this. So the spectator will just say stop whenever they like. And then what I do is I say, right there is good. I show this, and then I table it face down. So I place that face down on the table, and then I say, oh, real quick too, you're actually going to be looking at this dialogue here, but I don't want to see it, right? So, and then I use my finger and I just push the deck towards them, and I say, go ahead and have a look at that top card, the one that you stopped me at, and look at that card. So the idea is essentially that they aren't sure which half was which, and they think that they did stop me at that card, but in reality it was just the top card of the deck the whole time. So that's the force that I used in the performance. Of course, you can use any force that you want. You can try to classic force it out if you want to, or you can use like a riffle force and then force the card. It's completely up to you, as long as they are now holding the card that you forced, again in this case the Cosmo Queen. From there, I'm going to force them to think of a word that I want them to think of. Now, in this card, there's really like 3 words that I might want them to think of. Queen, Galaxies, and Mistress. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to actually get them to think of that word simply by telling them to read the whole line and then fish for one of the first letters of the words that I want them to choose. So let's just say I wanted them to choose Mistress, right? So this card reads Queen of the Galaxies and Mistress of the Stars. So I'll say, go ahead and read that line for me. I'm seeing a word that like starts with the letter M, I think. Yeah? They'll say yes, and you'll say perfect. And that word, it ends with like, is it an S? They'll say yes, and you'll go, okay, focus on it, like really visualize that word in your mind. And now they're looking at the word mistress, right? The only thing you want to make sure that you don't do is pick a word that, you know, maybe there's multiple words that fit that description. So maybe this word says like Queen of the Galaxies and Mistress of all monsters, for example, right? Kind of kinky, right? But so let's just say Mistress is the word that I wanted to go for, and I tell them it starts with an M, right? And they're like, yes. I'm like, it ends with an S, right? And they're like, yes. Well, now it's a 50-50 toss-up. Is it Mistress or Monsters that they're thinking of, right? So you want to make sure that the word that you're fishing for is the only word that matches the description in the line, right? So this is a really old idea. It's based off of the letter and a word principle by Banachek and sort of the long word principle by Ted Kramilovich. It kind of combines these ideas together, but rather than saying, you know, think of the longest word in the line, I'm just straight up going to tell them which word they should, you know, look at. So it makes it surefire. You don't have to worry about them maybe not thinking of the word that you wanted them to. Like maybe if I said, think of the longest word in that line, but you know, in this case, it could have easily been Galaxies or Mistress, right? Maybe they could have thought of either or. I've had people where I said, think of the longest word in that line, and they think of like a 3 or 4 letter word, even though there's like 7 or 8 letter words in that line, right? So doing it this way will guarantee 100% that you nail the word that they were thinking of. Anyway, I hope you guys thought that this was interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Feel free to leave a comment below, and I will read if you guys have any questions, comments, or if you guys want to add anything to this, how you would perform this trick, let me know, because all I really did was just take a really old principle and just apply it to using Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So rather than forcing a page in a book, I'm forcing a card and forcing a word in the text on the card. So it makes for an interesting prop, right? So rather than just taking out a novel or busting out like a deck of like regular playing cards, you bust out this deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and now people are interested, even if they've never played the game before, because it's just it's something different. It's a different object, and it has a good hook to it. You can talk about your childhood or how you used to play these card games or whatever it is. There are a lot of people that grew up with this game, so just taking out the cards might hit them right in the nostalgia feels, and overall it just makes for a really fun effect. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time with another magic tutorial. Take care. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, make sure to click the subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you'll know every time I upload a new video. If you'd like to check out some more magic, visit us at o'brienmagic.com, and be sure to check out our online magic shop, where you will find the latest and greatest magic books, downloads, and accessories.